folks. That's the one. Yeah. Good luck.
Alright y'all, this weekend we have this fight between Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder and Dominic Trouble Breazeale. Both guys are 6'7", and it's just a mandatory fight. I'm not excited, but I will watch it. It is of some interest to me. Now, straight off the bat, my prediction is going to be Deontay Wilder stops Dominic Breazeale in rounds 7, 8 or 9. I think it's going to be a breakdown, a systematic breakdown by Deontay Wilder. He's going to take his time. He's going to try and keep his head. He's not going to let the emotion get to him for a change, and he's going to get the job done. Now, there is a lot of bad blood in this fight due to past events. After Dominic Breazeale had beaten Izu Yugano and Deontay Wilder had beaten Gerald Washington on the same card, apparently in the arena, Dominic Breazeale had said something to Marcellus Wilder, the younger brother of Deontay, and Deontay and a few of his mates went back to Dominic Breazeale's hotel and a scuffle went down. I'm not going to go too much into it, but apparently Dominic Breazeale was going to sue Deontay Wilder. They settled out of court, and here we are. The beef can be settled. So there is a possibility that Deontay Wilder could go batshit crazy and go all out and try and knock Breazeale out in the first 2-3 rounds.
To this day,
it's also possible Dominic Breazeale could go batshit crazy with the emotion involved. Now, he's spoken of Deontay and his mates giving him the beatdown in front of his wife and kids, and he really didn't like that, so he's got a score to settle. So it's a possibility we could just see an all-out freaking brawl until someone goes down. But I don't think it's really that likely, to be honest. Like I said, I think Deontay's going to keep his head, do a systematic breakdown of the lesser quality fighter, I'll put it that way. Now, why I say lesser quality? Well, Dominic Breazeale does have some good traits. He's got a killer mule of a right hand. He's a big dude and he hits hard. And he's got a pretty decent chin, but he's got the heart of a lion. As long as he's able, he will keep getting up after being knocked down and keep coming and keep coming. However, Dominic Breazeale is pretty slow. He's not the quickest of punches. He's not got very good foot speed whatsoever, and his defense leaves something to be desired. He does have a new coach who is very level-headed in Virgil Hunter. How much it's going to influence Dominic Breazeale's style, I'm not so much convinced that it's going to do much to his style, but it may do lots to his game plan. Because both of these guys are of similar size, I don't think it's in Dominic Breazeale's best interest to try and keep the fight long, as he's got a similar reach and a similar height to Deontay Wilder. However, he's much slower, so he's likely to get beaten to the punch quite a bit. So it would probably be in his best interest to try and make this fight an inside fight as best he possibly can. If he can lean on Deontay Wilder a lot, he's much bigger in weight than Deontay. Throw a lot of body shots and try and slow Wilder down, bring his hands down. It's possible he could come over the top with the right hand while he's in close and put Deontay to sleep. However, I don't think Dominic Breazeale has the foot speed. If he does manage to get inside on Deontay and start trying to unload, Deontay's got fast enough feet to get the hell out of there like that. So the possibility of Dominic trapping Deontay in a corner, cutting the ring off, keeping him against the ropes in the corner and going to town, I think it's pretty low, to be fair. But I still think that's his best way to get to Deontay. Tire him out, lean on him, and try and break down the body somewhat before coming over the top with a straight or a hook right hand. Now Deontay, I expect him to command the center of the ring. Keep his distance, try and keep the fight at range, as we know he's got a killer right hand, and at full extension it's lethal. He's got a pretty dang good check left hook, and he's got a pretty good jab as well. Now at times Deontay does look sloppy, but that's just his style. Those who say Deontay Wilder has no skills are fucking joking themselves. Seriously. He's got a style that's unorthodox, big wide stance, quite upright most of the time, but it works for him. He uses it straight up and down stance to lean back and avoid punches. He's got fairly good reflexes. I'd like to see him move his head a bit more, but like I said, it's his style and it works for him. It probably wouldn't work for anybody else, but he's a thinker at the same time. Knows when to throw punches. He can set up punches with a good jab. We've seen less of this in his recent fights because he's been quite emotional
to this day
in his fights, I think. You know, with Tyson Fury, he was so desperate to get a spectacular knockout that the game plan pretty much went out the window. He was headhunting all night. I don't think there's too much point in going to Dominic Breazeale's body heavily. I don't think it's going to break him down much. However, it's good to throw in a good body shot every now and then to try and bring Dominic's high guard down a bit. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, with the possibility of Dominic maybe landing something big. We've seen Deontay get hurt before, and Dominic Breazeale hits like a mule. But Deontay has pretty much got all-round skills that are better than Dominic Breazeale. So I'm putting the chances of Dominic Breazeale winning this fight, and the only way he can win it, I think, is by knockout, at 20%. So those are pretty much my thoughts on the fight. I'm looking forward to watching a good scrap, but I'm not excited about the fight itself. It's a Mando, get it out of the way, let's move on. And if Dominic Breazeale does happen to pull off an upset, and it would be a major upset, kudos to him. But yeah, that's my thoughts. If you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give me the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next one. Big Boys Boxing, we out. See you.